practice sheets. Take out your flip book and let's turn to the essential question. Here's the question of the day. Explain how you can use the break apart strategy to add 3-digit numbers. There's that word again, explain. So how are you going to explain to me something? Antia?
Write it.
Write it. Tell me in words. How do you use the break apart strategy to add 3-digit numbers? And then give an example. Don't use my example. Use your example. Tell me how you use the break apart strategy to add numbers. We've got 5 minutes.
What were the students doing prior to the essential question?
Prior to the essential questions, the students were working on their practice sheets. I have it set up on the counter so that if they were with the reteach small group, they're working on the reteach worksheet. If they were in the challenge path, they're working on an enrichment sheet. And if they only missed one, they're working on the standard practice book. They're completing that assignment. So I gave the kids about 7 minutes to work on the practice sheet. And then we're pulling it all together with the enrichment question before I put them into a center or a game that I have that it kind of extends the lesson. So we'll spend about 5 minutes on this, we'll talk about it, and then we'll do an extend the lesson activity.
Give some examples of your answers that you came up with for the essential question. Who can raise their hand and explain how you can use the break apart strategy in order to add 3-digit numbers?
First, you break up the hundreds, then the tens, then the ones. Then you add the ones, tens, and hundreds up, then that's your answer.
What's your example?
278 equals 200 plus 70 plus 8 equals 278.
That? Nice job. Jamie?
You take the hundreds place and then you take it apart from the number and add 2 zeros at the end. And then you take the tens and then you do the same that what you did with the number, the hundreds place, but you just add 1 0, and then you just take your ones and then you just add it to the other numbers. First, you see how many hundreds there is there. Then you see how many tens there are. Then you see how many ones there are.
Do you have an example?
371 equals 300 plus 70 plus 1 equals 371.
Okay. Very good. Break apart numbers. Easy? Pretty easy stuff?
Yeah.
It's easy to add hundreds and tens and ones, isn't it? Okay. All right, last thing for the day. We're going to break into groups. Yesterday we talked really briefly about Connect 4 game. The directions are attached to the board. Your goal is to get 4 in a row. Get 4 in a row going up and down, side to side. Yep, diagonally. But you have to use the break apart strategy to add your numbers. So 924 plus 738. We're going to break it apart and add it up. So here's what you will need. You will need a pencil, you will need your math notebook, and you will need a partner. And I will come around and get you some chips. We talked about the red and the yellow sides yesterday. Are you writing on this? No. If you get stuck, what can you do to help yourself? What can you use to help yourself if you get stuck on how to play this? Ian? Your partner is a great one. Who said Aaron? Directions is another one. And finally, right here, okay? Yeah. Okay, spread out around the room once you have your partner and your slide.